Straight ahead on 12 News, a major development project impacting Golden Valley.
This is an area that has been underdeveloped. It's been a bit of an eyesore.
See what's on the horizon along 394. Plus, something you may not know about state texting and driving laws. But first, something else for drivers to focus on. Your trip to work could be changing in a big way. 12 News starts right now. Hello, and thanks for joining us. As you put your weekend plans, or as you plan your weekend activities, rather, you may want to add just a little bit of extra time for that drive.
A major construction project begins this weekend that will impact both 494 and Highway 169. Shannon Slatton shows us what's closing.
If there are two seasons in Minnesota, winter and road construction season, then this weekend road construction season will begin with a bang. Several delays and ramp closures are planned along I-494.
You've probably seen the cones, signs, and evidence of construction that is to come.
This weekend, between 94 and 394, we are closing the northbound side of I-494.
It's one of the first parts of a 2.5-year construction project that will include repairing pavement, adding a third lane to 494 through Plymouth, and building noise walls.
In late 2016, early 2017, we'll have that third lane. We'll relieve a lot of that congestion in this area, and it'll be free-flowing.
Starting at 10 Friday night, 2 northbound 494 ramps will close, one at eastbound 394 and one at Carlson Parkway. Those ramps will reopen at 5 a.m. Monday.
Northbound motorists will have to go to 169, will have to utilize 169. Also, late on Sunday night, we're closing southbound as well. So if you travel overnight between 10 and 5 a.m., both sides of the roads will be closed down.
Then on Sunday night, 4 ramps will close and stay closed until the fall. They are westbound 394 to southbound 494, southbound 494 to westbound Highway 12, southbound 494 to Carlson Parkway, and then Carlson Parkway to southbound 494.
Why we have traffic in the configuration of 2 lanes in each direction, we just can't have that merging. We can't have people driving on and trying to get into 2 lanes on one side of the road. It just creates a really dangerous situation.
During the week, you'll see movable barriers helping move traffic along.
If we didn't have the movable barriers, what would we do? We'd close down the highway.
In the morning, 2 lanes will be open going southbound and 1 lane going northbound. Then that will switch to accommodate the evening rush hour.
7 to 10 days after a closure or a traffic switch are always the most challenging. So if people just be patient.
In Plymouth, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
MnDOT says you can expect to add more than 20 minutes to your travel during Monday morning's commute. And here's one more thing for drivers to focus on. The State Patrol and Plymouth Police are cracking down on distracted driving over the next few weeks. Texting while driving has been illegal since 2008, and last year 3,200 citations were issued in Minnesota for illegal texting.
Some people get it, others are confused. One of the big myths is that as long as I'm stopped at a red light or a stop sign, I can text and things like that. And actually, if you read the law, that's not true. You cannot, even if you're stopped at a red light, you cannot access your cell phone for the internet use or sending a text message or email.
You don't have to be in an accident to get a ticket, and if someone is injured or killed because a driver is texting, that can lead to a felony charge.
This weekend, a search is planned for missing 10-year-old Barway Collins. The Crystal Boy disappeared March 18th, shortly after getting off his school bus. Surveillance video shows him opening the door of the Cedarwood apartments where he lives. Police say Barway's father remains a suspect. On Saturday, members of the Liberian community are putting on another search at the Cedarwood apartments. That search gets underway at 11 a.m.
A Minneapolis man has been convicted and sentenced to life in prison without parole for the murder and burning of a Brooklyn Center man. Manuel Guzman was accused of shooting 31-year-old Rufino Clara Rendon in the head and then burning his body near a dumpster. Guzman's co-defendant, Guillermo Ayala Enriquez of Brooklyn Center, will go on trial next month. Prosecutors say both suspects believed Clara Rendon was a snitch during a drug robbery. A major development project is on the way for the southern tip of Golden Valley.
Developers are focusing on a small strip of land where the city intersects with St. Louis Park. As Delane Cleveland reports, there are big plans for the area.
Located next to St. Louis Park's retail and entertainment complex known as the Shops at West End, sits an Olive Garden and a vacant parking lot just south of 394.
What's interesting about this lot is that half of it is in St. Louis Park and the other half sits within the city limits of Golden Valley, and city officials don't mince words when asked about the property.
This is an area that has been underdeveloped. It's been a bit of an eyesore.
Yet where some people simply see asphalt and concrete, others see a wealth of opportunity.
There's a new developer that has purchased the property and is looking to move forward, and this is our way of preparing for the future. We're going to have more residents and we're going to have more jobs.
Golden Valley Mayor Shep Harris is referring to a plan that will transform this vacant lot into a 200-unit apartment complex known as Central Park West.
Half of that building, actually more than half of that, will be in St. Louis Park. About 80 of those 200 units will actually be in Golden Valley, so we'll literally have a building split.
The building split will create a scenario where residents will have different voting districts, tax payments, and utility bills.
But those are things that we're working out with the developer and with the city of St. Louis Park.
The first item is going to be approving a final planned unit development proposal for Central Park West.
The project was the subject of a lengthy public hearing at this week's city council meeting, but the major concern had nothing to do with the complex being in two cities.
Yes, the development is good, but let's look at what the real impacts are in the neighborhood.
The issue that any development in the West End area faces is the fact that it's the traffic stupid.
City officials say most of the traffic should stay on the St. Louis Park side near Utica Avenue.
So that's our hope, is that most of the traffic will be going that way.
The true test will come when the project is finished in 2016. In Golden Valley, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
This is just phase one of the project, which includes the 200-unit apartment complex and a neighborhood park. Additional phases will include a hotel, more housing, commercial buildings, and a parking ramp.
How to grow the economy nationally sparks some debate among local business leaders and legislators.
How do we get this system called the economy, run by workers and businesses working together, how do we get it to raise income? How do we get it to create opportunity for generations going forward?
And Deputy Chief Economist J.D. Foster and the former Governor of Maine, John McKernan Jr., spoke to the Twin West Chamber of Commerce Friday. The rate of economic growth nationally is forecasted to be about 2.5% per year over the next 10 years. That's compared to decades of yearly growth of between 3 and 4% before the recession.
It's going to take changing policies that drive that kind of economic growth. It doesn't just happen. We have to put the right incentives in place. We have to make the right investments.
One investment includes improved efficiency through updating workers' skills with continued education. The grass is greening up and you may be anxious to get working in the yard.
We will show you some things you can do right now. And then a little bit later in sports, the Robbins Adapted Softball Program hosts a big tournament this weekend.
But first, spring fever is back. Temperatures warm up, but thunderstorms appear late Sunday.
Thursday's rainfall barely put a dent in our moderate drought. We received about 0.6 of an inch of rain Thursday. It puts rainfall in the Northwest Metro at only average for the month so far. Since August 1st, we're still about 8 inches behind on precipitation. But hopefully the April rain showers will bring some Mayflowers.
It may be too soon to actually get in the garden, but there are some things you can do now to get ready. Reporter Sonia Goins goes in the garden to show us how.
The calendar says spring, but Mother Nature is confusing creatures and plants. While it's too early to work on your garden or lawn,
the right tool for the job makes every job so much easier.
You can still prepare.
Get your tools ready for the season, get them all collected.
Take inventory, see what tools you have and what needs to be replaced.
And sharpened. As you can see, the blade is very helpful. It makes your job easier and it gives you cleaner cuts on your plants.
A good pruner is a must-have item.
This is generally used for smaller plants, maybe cutting back your perennials. It's important to cut back your perennials, cut off last year's growth.
You might also want to get some not-so-common tools, like this maintenance rake.
You can direct it more towards leaves mixed into your mulch or rocks in the yard, different things that you need to move around to prepare the area.
Repurposing tools can also help you in the garden.
This
weeder can do more than yank out unwanted plants.
I think it would be perfect for dividing some of those tightly rooted perennials. You've got a nice long blade that can go straight into the soil.
Lastly, now is the time to clean your tools.
You could use just a vegetable organic oil. It'll help maintain the edges, and they'll go into the soil a little bit easier too.
For In the Garden, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Coming up, a busy weekend on stage. We'll preview 3 shows taking place in the Northwest Metro.
But first, why Maple Grove is primed for a big spring in prep baseball. We'll preview the Crimson up next in sports.
The Maple Grove baseball team hopes to be in the mix for a title in the Northwest Suburban Conference this spring. As Jay Wilcox reports, a veteran Crimson team has high hopes.
After a pretty decent 2014 season, Maple Grove is looking to take a step up this spring. The Crimson went 9-7 in Northwest Suburban games last season and won 13 overall, including their first 2 in section play. An experienced group is ready to roll. They won their opener over Blaine Wednesday.
In our game yesterday, we showed some pretty good things. Everyone went up there pretty aggressive. We had some good at-bats. This year, Coach Carlson, he's tracking quality at-bats, see how many pitches we see. If there's runners in scoring position, if we're knocking them in.
I think we'll make contact with the ball a little better than we did last year. The kids were more aggressive in our first game yesterday. I thought we were swinging the sticks a little bit better, and we have pretty decent team speed, so that's a plus. And then we got a couple of guys that can throw the ball.
7 regular position players return. Speedy shortstop Isaac Collins is a junior who is in his 4th varsity season. Center fielder Adam Brandt is a good one, along with third baseman Matt Vogel and pitcher infielder Brett Schultz. Several of the guys have played in high-pressure games in other sports like football and hockey, and that's a bonus when it comes to spring.
Yeah, I think it definitely helps to play other sports, keep that competitive nature in you, and keep that competitive against other teams and other competition. Just really helps us for our high-pressure and adversity situations in baseball, so help us push through and get the job done.
Being able to play in those state games for football and getting a lot of that pressure, and baseball is a really pressurized sport. When you go up to bat, all eyes are on you.
Maple Grove's cracked the top 10 in state rankings to start the season. It's nice, but they know what happens on the field is what matters.
I mean, we've obviously seen it and we've looked at it a little bit, but it's not something that we really focus on. We don't really look at it that much. I don't know. It's not that big of a deal for us.
The pieces are in place for this to be a strong Crimson squad. Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
After having their scheduled game against Champlain Park postponed Thursday, Maple Grove now has games Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week, including the makeup game with Champlain Park Tuesday. They play rival Osseo next Thursday. The Crimson is one of the teams to keep an eye on this spring in baseball. The first state Associated Press rankings are out. Maple Grove is ranked 4th in the statewide Class 3A preseason poll. Lakeville North is number 1. The Panthers finished 3rd at state a year ago. Eden Prairie is 2nd. And then 2-time defending state champion Mounds View is 3rd, 1 spot ahead of Maple Grove. Minnetonka rounds out the top 5. No other local teams are ranked in the top 20, although Armstrong, Champlain Park, Hopkins, Benilde, St. Margaret's, and Tutino Grace are among the teams receiving votes. The adapted softball season will get started for many teams with a big tournament hosted by the Robbinsdale Hopkins Mound Westtonka Robins. The 2nd annual Lloyd Olson Invitational is Friday and Saturday at Armstrong High School. This is the 6th time defending state champion Robins PI team scrimmaging earlier this week. The tournament is named for the founder of the adapted sports program in the Robbinsdale schools. It's a great way to get the season started.
Yeah, I feel like it's a great way to get the season started, you know, for the team to get a little bit ready for the regular season and then for state. And I think it's a great way to start the season.
It gives the kids a chance to get some live game experience, but yet have it be non-conference games where, yes, the games are competitive, but they don't really count against our record, and gives us a little extra chance to prepare for the regular season. So it's something the kids and our coaches really look forward to.
The Robins hope to get off on the right foot with a good performance this weekend. Coach Marcus Onsom talked about the team's outlook for the season.
Early impression is we're young, relatively inexperienced, but we've got a lot of talent, a lot of ability throughout our lineup. And my guess is that Anoka is going to give us our biggest run this year. I mean, they're just as deep and as stacked as ever, so they're probably going to be the team to beat. But with our group of kids, we're going to give them a run anyways.
Here is the slate for the tournament. In the PI division, there are 2 games Friday evening. Saturday, there are 4 games capped by what should be a good one between Anoka Hennepin and the Robins at 3. And then in the CI division, the tourney starts with 2 games Friday. Saturday, there are 4 games, starting with the Robins against Anoka Hennepin. Most games are in the main gym at Armstrong, with a few in the auxiliary gym. Tournament namesake Lloyd Olson will be on hand to give out the trophies on Saturday. There'll be good action here today and tomorrow.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, a terrific theater trifecta.
Neil Persley previews 3 shows next in Weekend Showcase. Well, if you like live local theater, this weekend is tailor-made for you.
That's right. Neil Persley takes a look at 3 shows in this weekend's Weekend Showcase.
This weekend there is so much going on that I have to do a compilation weekend showcase. Front Porch Musical Theater is presenting Disney's Aristocrats for this weekend only.
We love to bring to the community family shows, and everybody we have talked to, of course, says Disney's Aristocrats. I love that show.
3 full casts comprised of 150 students will scratch, purr, and claw their way into your hearts.
So no matter how old they are, they love Thomas O'Malley, Duchess and the Kittens, and the rescue that happens.
Curl up in the comfy confines of Osseo Senior High Auditorium for one of the 6 shows. On a more serious note, North Hennepin Community College presents Violet.
It's a story of a girl's journey. She was scarred early in life by a horrific accident, and she's wanting to get healed.
Always ambitious, count on Mike Ritchie to bring gripping and complex theater to North Hennepin.
As an adult woman, she's been watching a televangelist who promises he can heal anybody. So she says to herself, I'm going to go out and visit that televangelist, and he's going to heal me and make me pretty again.
Violet runs this weekend and next at North Hennepin's Fine Arts Theater. Finally, Osseo School District teachers and staff present a true variety show with their annual Wastebasket Revue at Park Center High School.
And our whole purpose is to earn money for scholarships for graduating seniors for post-secondary education. And in our 48th year, we have earned over $1 million.
You might see your favorite teacher, or maybe the lunch lady, singing and strutting stuff you never knew they had. For Weekend Showcase, I'm Neil Persley.
The ticket information and showtimes can be found on our website, 12.tv. So don't say there's nothing to do this weekend,
That's
right? That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We will see you back here on Monday. Community Corner is coming up next.